Hello everyone. So in today's video, basically we're just gonna jump right in. This video should be nice and short. So what you're seeing here is a chart of the overall data. What happens prior to OPEX during that week, and then the week after OPEX, what happens to the market. So what you're seeing is out of I believe since the last 40 years, yes. So the last 40 years, there have been 17 weeks of OPEX that have been bullish, and 5 of them have been bearish. So 17 have been bullish, 5 have been bearish. That is a very good likelihood that this week tends to be bullish, which this chart basically affirms. And this chart also affirms that the week afterward, after OPEX, which is after tomorrow, so next week, 5 weeks have been bullish, 17 weeks have been bearish. Now, I haven't done any of the looking at this data, but you know, it was on Twitter, so you're gonna have to believe it. But essentially, this basically affirms everything that I've been saying. So this week should end up being bullish, next week should end up being bearish according to this data. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start with that. Next, we were long on Microsoft, and you knew that we were also long on Microsoft. This flew all the way to 428, and we sold our entire position, and for about 60%, 62%. So this jumped up really, really high, and it was a really, really good position. So what we saw today was the market essentially rallied based off of a few tech stocks. So it was only due to Microsoft, Apple, which we also took profit on. I don't like how Apple is so we also took profit on Apple. I don't like how Apple continued to have trouble at 174. So we sold some for I think 19% gain, I don't remember. But we sold some. And I do think that Apple should still hit 176, 177, but it's always good to solidify some profit. So we sold some Apple. And also Google was just skyrocketing as well. So Google was a big reason why the market was rallying. So Google, Microsoft, Apple. Big reason why the market was rallying. And what we also saw today was AMD and NVDA getting pullbacks, almost down 4% each. And what's interesting specifically now on AMD is AMD is getting very close to a level of support. And you could see that we're basically at a level of support now. And this is creating a falling wedge, very close to a level of support. And falling wedges are extremely bullish patterns. They tend to bounce. So now with that being said, we have the chip event. We have NVIDIA's event next week. We have FOMC. Sorry, not FOMC. We have... Yeah, we do have FOMC next Wednesday. So we have the chip event on next week. We have FOMC next week on Wednesday. The market can rally into that time, and especially with AMD giving a really, really bullish setup at a level of support, that is possible. Now, essentially, if we don't hold 183, right, we can easily fall back down to 174, 175 area right here. So if AMD doesn't hold this and it doesn't bounce off of this, then it could just capitulate even further down and fall down to 174, 175. This was a theme that we saw earlier in the morning on our trading on the SPY. So it gave a sort of good, sort of bullish setup, and then it made another leg lower. After it made that other leg lower, that's when things really, really started to bounce. So that could potentially occur on AMD. But essentially, statistically, we should be bullish for this week. So far for this week, we are 0.63% bullish. Now we opened at 510.50, so we should be closing above 510.50. I would be very surprised if tomorrow we don't end up. I would be surprised if we don't end up rallying. We should see 517, 518 in my opinion. But yeah, to be honest, you know, the statistics are on our side. We made good money playing the rally on Microsoft. There's not really much else that we need to look at. IWM is also at a level of support. It wicked off of 200, and this is a really nasty candle to the downside. Obviously, this is not a bullish setup either, but it's getting close to major levels of support. So 199, 200 area is all major support on the IWM, and we are getting very close to it, similar to AMD. So it's tough to now start being completely bearish. You know, I'm just going to continue. Like, if the IWM gets a small bounce, then that bounce is going to help the SPY. And also, if the tech stocks continue to be bullish, then that is all going to be bullish for the SPY. And yeah, I personally still like our chances of being bullish for this week. And regardless, you know, whatever happens. We made our money. Next week, though, that's when I do think statistically the market should be getting a bit of a pullback. It all depends on what happens after our the event on Monday. But yeah, let's see what ends up happening. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. Thank you.